Alright. Hopefully you guys can see me alright. Let me make sure this is recording. Oh, it's like zoomed in? No, it's not. Okay. Well, it's a podcast anyways. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. By the way, I am not finished with my break. I am okay. I went through some stuff. Nothing bad. Like, I didn't do anything bad or nothing, but I will explain that all next episode. What was it? Red Pill Paradigm texted me, like, this was a while back, but did the feds get you, bro? LOL. And he gave me some weird little emoji, which is awesome. I'm thankful for the fans who have, not fans, but like friends who I've met over the couple years doing this, past couple years, who I've actually keep on touch with personal basis. I'm okay. Just wanted to let you guys know that. I am starting a new job. Knock on wood. I won't tell you yet. I'm going to save that for the next episode. I'm waiting on a phone call today. Life is okay. Hang on. But I had to fucking talk about this shit, man. I had to fucking talk about this shit. Epstein. These Epstein Files are fucking insane. So, I've been podcasting for a decade. I had to put my 2 cents in. I've been podcasting for a decade. Well, I've been content creating for a decade, and I've been podcasting for 5 or 6 years. I don't know. I've been a YouTuber for 10 years, but I'm like on my 500 something episode of podcasting, so. But it's always been, not everything, but literally like 99% of my content creation has been conspiracy stuff. Once in a blue moon, I'll put out something silly, like a food review or a cooking video, but most of it, honestly, I'd say 95% is conspiracy related. We got the files, somewhat. We need to talk about this shit. This shit's crazy. So we got the files, but we only got 3 million pages, by the way, which is insanity. I was listening to a content creator, I cannot remember who, because I've been stuck on this Epstein shit, just going through these Epstein files for the past 72 hours, because I'm unemployed right now. Technically. Well, actually, I am employed on paper, but I haven't started my new job back again. I'll tell you. It's a whole nother story. 72 hours I've been studying this shit. 3 million pages is what we got from the DOJ. This dude literally did the math. And the reason, this is only like, I think like 1/3 or half of the fucking drop. And the dude did the math, like there's no way that we can go through all these files. Like if we literally went through every single file that's already out, it would take something like a decade if you were reading every single page for 8 years or 8 hours a day. It was some crazy fucking thing. So, first of all, as content creators, we're all going to have to, like, figure out what our main focus is on these files. And focus in on that. And kind of fill each other in. Because it would be impossible for one person to read every single file I'm going to tell you what I know and what I've been studying and who's been telling me what. First of all, while I've been unemployed, I've been playing some Grand Theft Auto. This is GTA 1 for PlayStation. Why am I showing you this? This ain't Blue Pill Podcast. The creators of this were on the fucking list. Everybody's on this fucking list. Everybody. It's literally gotten to the point of who the fuck has not been to this island and hung out with this motherfucker? Apparently Epstein's a gamer. Let's start with gaming right there. Epstein's a fucking gamer. I found his YouTube channel 2 days ago, and I should have subscribed, but it wouldn't matter anyways because YouTube deleted his channel. He had 3 videos. He was apparently a Minecraft player. Had 3 videos of him and his character. First of all, his character, I guess you can like create your avatar. I didn't even know. Look, Minecraft to me, I always thought it was kind of like a rated E for everyone game. I don't play Minecraft. I play Grand Theft Auto. I play heavy shit like Red Dead Revolver, Final Fantasy. I do play e-games, but I haven't got around to Minecraft. It's not my jam. I like storylines. I like levels. I like to beat a game. About the only puzzle game I like is Tetris. But anyways, this motherfucker had a YouTube channel, a fucking Minecraft YouTube channel, and apparently you can create your skins of the avatars. His was a bondage suit with a bondage mask and like belts and vest. But it gets weirder. So, Fortnite, there's another game. I don't play that. I'm going to tell you this straight off the bat if you're a new listener. Anytime there is like a media, whether it's a movie, music, video game, anytime there is something that is like super popular, I stay away from it. I know this sounds weird, but this is just me. I stay the fuck away from it. I like obscure shit, and there's a reason for that, because I already know how the government works and how propaganda works and how brainwashing works. I've been a conspiracy theorist since 2010, baby. I mean, pretty much my whole life I have been, but I truly woke up in 2010. So anytime anyone's like, hey, check this out, man, they're like the biggest band on the earth, and I'm like, okay, I'll stay away from them. You know, there's probably some form of propaganda or something weird going on there. Fortnite, though. He was a Fortnite player, and apparently his Fortnite profile online after his death was continuing to be played. It was Fortnite, Minecraft, and there was one more game that he liked. But anyways, fucking nuts. So, is this motherfucker dead? Because at first when people, like, this was back when I was a QAnon guy, a Q-tard. Alright, I'm still recording, cool. This was back when I was a Q-tard. My Q buddy who got me into it was telling me like, Jeffrey Epstein, he's not dead. That's not his real body. And I looked at the body and I just glanced at it. I looked at the corpse and I looked at the picture of him and I'm like, looks like him. But then someone started hyper focusing on it. And now that years later, I don't think that corpse was him. The nose curves on the corpse. His nose is straight. The ears are totally different. The tattoo on the left arm. Let me talk about the tattoo on the left arm. So there's a photo in the files about a tattoo on the left arm. Right here. So, if you actually start reading these files, like as much as I have in the past 72 hours, and studying them in the past 72 hours in general, he's a Baal Moloch worshiper. He's like a Jewish supremacist. It is what it is. I've been warning. I didn't want to start getting into the whole Jew shit until literally earlier this year. I finally said fuck it, because I was just going down rabbit holes, and I'm like, and by the way, I'm not talking about the actual Hebrews. I'm talking about the fake Jews, like the Canaanites, the Ashkenazi, the Khazarians, the Khazarian Mafia. I'm not talking about the Hebrews, because my wife, by the way, is partially, possibly Hebrew. Hebrews are cool. Like, if you want to read the Torah, cool. But when you start getting into the Babylonian Talmud, and this Ashkenazi, and this Khazarian bullshit, and like Goyim and all this shit, Epstein was a fucking Jewish supremacist. Those people, I think, are the ones that Hitler really wanted to take out. And by the way, Hitler, if you actually look at it, by the way, this is in the emails, and I've been saying it for years that Hitler was a Rothschild. He is. Like, because there's emails from Epstein to Lady Rothschild, talking about Hitler being, that he wasn't some homeless painter, you know, that his mother was a maid in the Castle Rothschild, their little fucking dome, their little fucking realm, whatever they live in. I'm sure it's probably a castle. Yeah, they have castles. I've seen it before. They are beautiful castles. Probably Tartaria. Hang on just a second. But, what was I even going on? These files, man. These files are fucking insane. So there's one thing I want to go off. Since I lost my train of thought. That's fine, that's fine. I'm going to be a little bit all over the place. Grand Theft Auto. I do have to mention this, man. First of all, I've been going through, like, the whole old school series. Up until about Vice City. You know, I've been playing the OG shit. I've just been in that mood, playing video games since I've been unemployed for so long. And there's a reason, and I'll get into that next episode. I have to say, man, it is so crazy. The blue pill community is finally waking up. And I'm very thankful. Let me get this out of the way first. So I'm in like a gaming comment section. I'm watching Grand Theft Auto videos because I'm playing the Grand Theft Auto series. And I'm reading a comment and someone said, "Oh, the guys are the Did I already say this? I don't think I told you guys, but the guys on the Grand Theft Auto, the guys who created Grand Theft Auto are on the Epstein list." And I literally said, I said, yeah, I laughed about that. He said, "Why would you laugh about that?" I said, okay, I'm a fan of Grand Theft Auto, first of all, but they literally created the most disgusting, vile video game series ever created. I don't think there's any other video game series that has ever been as hardcore as GTA. If there is, let me know. And if you say Manhunt, they were Rockstar. I don't think there's ever been a game series more vulgar, more violent, more disgusting, more evil than Grand Theft Auto. I think that's why I like it, because I'm a horror punk. So yeah, it's like, are you surprised? And they're like, "Are you saying GTA's bad?" I said, dude, I'm a fan. I play GTA. To me, I find it therapeutic. When I'm in a real fucking angry mood and I want to murder, pop on GTA and I play it and I get my anger out virtually. And honestly, I literally afterwards I go, feel better. It's actually helped my life. playing these games, Grand Theft Auto series, has helped my life. Because I get my anger out on this, so that way I don't go out into the world and act like a fucking freak. And get angry and yell at people and drive crazy. I think more people should play Grand Theft Auto. But I don't think that most human brains do that. So, like, way back in the day, man, when they first started introducing guns into Hollywood cinema, there's a reason why. First of all, we all know about Laurel Canyon. Half of the actors back in the day, they were all like either CIA, FBI, or military. Look it up. What's the guy on It's a Wonderful Life? Jimmy Stewart? He was FBI. Oh, by the way, he was FBI and he was Bigfoot hunter, which is pretty fucking cool. Because when I went down to that Bigfoot museum, a couple years back, he was in there. He was fucking FBI agent, but he was also a Bigfoot hunter, cryptozoologist on his own time. Jimmy Stewart's cool. I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying these people are bad. The old lady that used to do cooking on television, who's an older broad, was a fucking CIA agent. Christopher Lee was MI6. I mean, we can go on and on and on. Half of these motherfuckers are agents for some form of intelligence, whether it be British, American, hopefully not Mossad, but they introduced guns into film because they noticed they were doing psychological studies and obviously they were doing studies that they noticed that American soldiers could not shoot the enemy. They would just shoot the gun and they would purposely miss. They would pretend to shoot the enemy while their colonel or general was over their shoulder because they didn't want to murder the enemy. So what they did was they introduced violence into film and guns, specifically guns violence. So they started making mafia movies, true crime movies. Hollywood shifted. And the military made them do this. And then after they started making more movies with guns and violence and all this shit, they noticed that the American soldiers during war started hitting targets more. Whether you like it or not, everything you receive is subconscious, will come in subconsciously. Somehow you will retain something subconsciously. Even what I say right now, and I'm not even trying to say anything evil or dark, but something will go into your subconscious. And it'll be a little grain of salt in the back of your head. And it might come up a year from now and you'll go, somebody said this, and I can't remember who, but they said this. And it's okay if you can't remember my name. That's fine. But I put a little grain in there. And I didn't even mean to. So, I still got plenty of time. This is a podcast, baby. I want to talk about the Epstein list. I'm going to roll a cigarette. Give me 1 second. Alright, we're cooking with Crisco. First of all, before I get on to my next pinpoint in my bryon of what I want to talk about as far as the Epstein shit. By the way, man, I am coming back to podcasting. I'm so fucking stoked. I gotta get a new phone. And I'll talk about that. What happened with my phone. I gotta get a new phone. And I gotta get this new job. And I don't like to put out podcasts if I'm not in the right head. I'm in the right head right now. That's why I'm putting this out. But I have to take breaks. Like, if you guys have been keeping up with me for the past 10 years, you'll notice that I've done this twice before already, where I've disappeared for one time. I disappeared for a year. That was the longest I disappeared in an entire year. But the other time I disappeared for like think it was like 4 or 5 months, and people were like, Abe, poke, are you alive? And I'm like, I'm alive. I'm just, and that wasn't even in like a bad break. It was just like, I was just excited to have a new girlfriend, who became my wife, and we did a lot of traveling, and yeah, I was just having fun. And I didn't want to create. I just wanted to hang out with her and get to know her and travel. Go hiking and see new things. But I am coming back soon. And you'll see. And I'm going to come in like a blaze of glory, as usual. So, one thing I want to talk about with these Epstein Files. Let me make sure I'm recording. I gotta fix this phone. I've said this before on the channel, and honestly, it rings true more than it did before when I said it before. I'm a big fan of Roseanne Barr. If you don't like her, that's cool. I could care less. I don't even care in the comment section. Don't even fucking bother me. In my heart of hearts, I believe she's a good woman. I grew up watching Roseanne. I didn't know she was a conspiracy theorist until later on in life, but she has a podcast. I think it's literally called Roseanne Barr Podcast, but her son is her co-host. And they do a lot of interviews, but when they don't have anyone to interview, they still podcast and just talk to each other, mother and son, which is awesome. I wish I had that with my mom, but she's too much like me. So her son was really discouraged one day, and he literally, I think he even like kind of cried a little bit on the podcast, but he's like, Mom, dude, it pisses me off. She's like, what, son? She's like, and he's like, I just want to talk about this. So he went the fuck off. Not on her, but in general. He's like, all this shit that we have been talking about for years and saying for years, and it's all coming true, and all this evidence is out there. And then when it comes true, people just go, huh, okay. And that we never, ever, ever get an apology for it. And she said, well, son, that's part of life. And I had this conversation. I talked to my eldest brother earlier this morning. And I talked to him and I told him, man, I don't know why that episode and just that clip of that episode has always stuck with me of like, I'm angry. I'm happy for one that everyone is waking up. Because you got to admit, dude, you've got people like Papa Meat, Penguin Zero, Asmongold. You've got all these people who are like blue pill podcast, or not podcast, but blue pill creators who are waking the fuck up. And you got to admit, that's insane when you got like people who normally do like silly food reviews are talking about the Epstein list and going, what the fuck is this? That's insane. Like, if they're waking up and you got all these blue pill followers who are watching them, that means kind of everyone is waking the fuck up. So there's a part of me that's like happy, that's like, yes, my job is done. But there's also a part of me that pisses me off because I'm looking through the comment sections and I feel the exact same way. I've had friends and family members and acquaintances who have cut me the fuck off, calling me a schizophrenic, a maniac. You're a fucking psycho for believing in this shit. You think that the elites eat babies and rape them? And now they finally see they do that. Do you think these people are going to apologize? Nope. Do you think they will ever apologize? Nope. So here's the thing. As a conspiracy theorist, that's what I call myself. You can call me a truther, whatever the fucking term you want. A truther, a conspiracy. I get tired of that shit too in the comment sections. You should call it, we're not conspiracy. Did you know the conspiracy that was created by the FBI after JFK? I don't give a fuck. I call myself a conspiracy theorist. You can call yourself a truther. You can call yourself a white hat. You can call yourself whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. Call yourself Barney. I don't give a fuck. As a conspiracy theorist, and if you're listening to this, you're obviously red-pilled, and you're awake, you're woke. You're not plugged into the matrix. You're breaking out of it, just like me. We have to learn to deal with. We're never going to get those apologies. Because those people who were calling us crazy, who cut us off from the family, who cut us off as friends, who stopped answering our phone calls, who blocked us, who ignored us while we were out in public and we made eye contact and they just went, I didn't see you. And you know what I'm talking about when you walk across someone who, like, you make eye contact with and you know them but you ain't seen them in a while and you go, and they go, you know what I'm talking about. Those people will never get those apologies. And what it is they have an ego. And they haven't had ego death. And they've never been through ego death. So we ourselves, I know you're hurt. I'm just as hurt. That we're never going to get an apology. We're never going to get an apology. And then here's this crazy thing. I've gotten jealousy now. And an anger in me. Because I'm watching these people, their channels are blowing up on shit that I talked about in 2016. And it's 10 years later, and their channel's blowing up, and they're saying the shit that I talked about 10 years ago. And everyone thought I was crazy then. And suddenly, like Pizzagate. Pizzagate's like, everyone's just now waking up to Pizzagate. That was 10 fucking years ago. WikiLeaks was probably, maybe even, 2016. Hello? We'll never get that apology. These Epstein Files are fucking crazy, though. Let's see what I'm at. Okay, cool. I still got plenty of time. Here's one more thing I want to talk about, and I'll probably wrap it up here. This is what worries me. I have one concern, and I'm not trying to be a doom guy. I'm not black-pilled. So I have two theories. Why the fuck... Here's the question, first of all, and I'll tell you my two theory answers. Because I talk to myself, and I talk to you guys, and hit me up in the comments what you think. Why the fuck are they showing us all this shit now? Theory number one. They're planning something dark, and I'm not trying to will this into existence, but it is a concern of mine. The other day, my wife was like, said something about 2027. What do you want to do next year or something? Blah, blah, blah. And I just looked at her and I went, honey, I don't think America's going to be around in 2027. And she just went, yeah. Because she knows. I fill her in on what's going on. And I wasn't trying to, like, burst her bubble, but are these motherfuckers going to start pushing buttons? As far as, like, nuclear bombs, World War III, a new virus? That's what concerns me. FEMA camps? Because they've been building bunkers for, like, a year. All these motherfuckers. Weather warfare? What? Are they going to start just, like, murdering everyone? I don't know. That's the only reason why. Why would you say, like, hey, yeah, we're all a bunch of child eaters and child rapists and Baal worshippers and Molech worshippers? Yeah. And we're going to release some more files and tell you even how darker we are. Like, everything I've seen is disgusting. Like, George Bush cutting the feet off children and shit. Which I already kind of knew that. He's skull and bones. He's evil. So, are they going to kill us? Is my first theory. That they're just like, yeah, we're going to give you everything. We're going to tell you everything. Are you satisfied? Now that you know that we're evil demons, beep, now you all die. Or locked up in a FEMA camp. Or slaves or whatever. Now that you know what we are. That's theory number one. Theory number two, and this one is actually less dark. It's still dark, but they're telling us everything that they are and who they are and what they do, and they're just releasing it. And they're doing it and going, okay, we're a bunch of child molesting, child eating. We torture children. We eat them. We rape them. We consume them. What are you going to do about it? That's my second theory, of that they're just saying, okay, we'll tell you the truth of who we are. What are you going to do about it? Because we can't protest. Protesting does nothing. I'm sorry, dude. And I've never been to a protest, and the only reason why is because it literally does nothing. It brings awareness, maybe. Most of the time, it just pisses people off because you're blocking traffic, and fucking up people's businesses on sidewalks. And honestly, it really doesn't do much, protesting. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick, but... And people will go, well, we fight them. You're going to fight the government with your gun? Well, I got a bunch of guns. Okay, cool. They got drones. They got stealth fighters. They got direct energy weapons. They've got weather warfare. They've got microwave guns. They've got sound cannons. What else? They got grenades, grenade launchers, bazookas, machine guns, tanks. You gonna fight all that with your grandpappy shotgun in the corner? You gonna fight all that? We can't overthrow the government. We can't win. So my second theory is that they're like, yeah, we're just gonna tell you what we are. We're a bunch of Baal worshiping, Molech worshiping child eaters. What are you gonna do about it? And I don't want to end this on a bad note, so I'm going to play Grand Theft Auto and enjoy my day before I go to work at my new job. Even though these people are on the Epstein list, I'm still going to play it, and I'm just going to have fun and enjoy life. I love you all. Hit me up in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe.